something else in to kind of break it up. And 1,000 Pound Sisters is perfect for that. In tonight's video, I'm going to be covering the first 2 episodes of season 6. If you are new to the show, it's on TLC, and it follows Tammy and Amy Sladen. They are 2 morbidly obese sisters she's not comfortable or ready to, I don't think that the family should be forcing it. Tammy even says, that's risking my own safety and the safety of everyone on the road, and she's right. I understand it can be frustrating for the family to need to be carting her around everywhere, but, she could easily use Uber or Lyft now. Well, they are in rural Kentucky, so I don't really know what the rideshare situation is down there, but anyway, now we see Tammy at home with these two porcelain dolls. One of them is named Chrissy, and apparently they're haunted by children and can communicate with other spirits. Amy comes in the door with two plush, faceless dolls of her own, Bonnie and Jacob, who are also haunted. They're using a spirit box app on Tammy's phone to communicate with, hopefully, Caleb. There are voices and noises coming through this app. It sounded like somebody said Tam and the candy compass. Tammy gets freaked out and says that she doesn't want evil spirits in her house. They think that they hear Caleb saying, "Here I am," and "girl." Tammy says it sounds just like Caleb, and it validates her thoughts that he's around her and helping her stay on the right track. So Amy has been living with Tammy since her divorce, but she's ready to move back home, and Amanda is there helping her. She says it's hard to be back in the house after everything that happened with Michael, and we get a flashback to that very scary scene of Michael and Amanda getting in each other's faces from last season. Amy wanted to go shopping with her sisters, and he refused to give her the debit card. He didn't want her to leave because he wasn't able to take care of the boys on his own, and she had been struggling to essentially raise them on their own because Michael was so useless. And she's like, "Yeah, Michael, that's what I do every day." And it was basically the tipping point, and she told him to get the hell out of her house. The police got called. It was crazy. So Amy is sitting on the couch and she's crying, and she says, "Even these couches remind me of Michael," and she wants to get rid of them. Amanda tells her that she needs to make new memories in the home with her and the boys. So Chris and Tammy go do a body composition analysis, just to get a feel for where they're at before their appointment. Chris goes first. The machine is called the Bod Pod, and it looks like a tiny one-person spaceship. Chris looks hilarious sitting in it, and Tammy is cracking up. I believe she made like a Titan Voyager joke. So Chris finds out he's sitting at 297 pounds, and his scale at home told him he weighed 283, but really he's supposed to be closer to 250. He is really disappointed and confused. Tammy gets in the pod and she starts to feel a bit claustrophobic. She's looking over at Chris, trying to get him to notice her, but he is way too distracted with his results. Tammy weighs in at 308 pounds. She has lost 100 pounds since seeing Dr. Smith. After getting his results, Chris is not looking forward to the appointment. Tammy and Amy are getting makeovers, and they decide to choose each other's looks. Now, Amy is someone who loves a funky, fun hair color. She is currently rocking a head full of purple hair, and her only ask is that Tammy doesn't give her a normal color. When Tammy sees her hair Amanda says she's surprised at how nice Tammy is being because there's a lot of tension between the two of them right now. So Amy is up first. She has lost 40 pounds in the last year. She's at 240 right now, and Dr. Smith asks her if she's satisfied with her weight loss. And she says, if I can get skin removal, yes. The family is really surprised by that because her goal has been 150 pounds this whole time. She's not approved for the surgery. She is still technically morbidly obese, and he wants her to lose at least 30 more pounds. Misty is next. She is down to 166. She's done incredibly. Now Amanda is up. She was at 300 pounds before her surgery, and she says that she knows she hasn't been making good decisions. In a confessional, Amanda immediately blames Amy and Tammy for her lack of weight loss, saying everything Amy has been going through with her divorce and Tammy adjusting to life back home after losing Caleb. Like, what does that have to do with your weight loss? Both of them are going through that and they're still losing weight. It was really gross to see Amanda blame her siblings for her lack of success. So Amanda's only lost 30 pounds since her surgery. Dr. Smith asks her what she's gonna do, and she says, I'm gonna focus on me. I don't give a damn what anyone else is going through. For 43 years, I've worried about my siblings and everyone else around me. I'm only worrying about myself now. Okay, girl, so defensive. For what? Just say, yeah, I messed up. I'm gonna do better. I'm gonna eat right and exercise. So now Chris is up. He hasn't lost any weight the entire year. Dr. Smith is disappointed and gives him the same goal of losing 50 pounds. Tammy is last. At her highest, she was 725 pounds. She's done great. She's down to 300 struggling. She's in pain, irritable, and cranky. She's having surgery the next day. Chris has asked everyone over to Amanda's so he can give them gym memberships that he bought them. Again, a very kind thing for Chris to do. He seems like a great brother. He says they gotta get back on track, and Amanda suggests making it a friendly competition, and Amy immediately vetoes it. She is really against the idea. They're kind of going back and forth, and Misty thinks Amy just doesn't want to be held accountable. She says, "No, I will work out with all of you. We can motivate each other, but I don't want it to be a competition." She's getting a little bit worked up, and Amanda's like, "Hey, you're sitting right here, yelling in my ear." So Amy gets up and leaves the house. She's like, "You know what? I'm just gonna leave because I'm a bitch, blah, blah, blah." And Amanda's like, "What the F did you just say to me?" And Chris is like, "She didn't call you anything." And you can see Amanda is really on edge here, like thinking Amy called her names. So in season 5, there was a huge family blow up during a vacation to Florida where it got physical between Amy and Amanda. And Amy says, "I've learned that sometimes it's just best to walk away." So Amanda says to the rest of the siblings, "I'm getting real sick and tired of the attitude." I don't think Amy really had an attitude. She was just very passionate about not making this a competition, and no one was listening to her reasoning. They were all just saying, yeah, but. So Tammy says, "Well, I was trying to say before everyone interrupted me that I kind of see where Amy's coming from." Amanda gives her a real sassy look like, "Okay, what do you gotta say?" That sets Tammy off. She says, "Why are you giving me that look?" Amanda says, "This is my house. When I come to your house, I don't give you attitude. Don't do that shit." And in my opinion, Tammy was not giving attitude, but Amanda just has so much contempt for her right now. Anything was gonna set her off. So Tammy takes a beat, and you can tell she was trying to remain composed, but then she just snaps and says, "This is what the fuck I was talking about." And Amanda says, "Get out of my house and pack your shit out of your house too." They're going back and forth, and Misty tells Amanda, "This is not the time." And then Tammy says, "I'm not the one running around spreading my legs." Tammy with the slut shaming this episode. Amanda moves real fast for someone with a fucked up knee, and she almost gets right up out of her chair and says, "Spread my legs. I'm divorced, bitch." She tells Tammy her ass is going to be homeless. I'm sorry, I know they're fighting, but that's a super messed up thing to do. It's like a weird power move, like, haha, I'm your landlord, and I'm gonna kick you out because we had a spat. No, that's your sister. You're gonna let your sister be homeless. So Tammy has left the house, and Amanda is now yelling at Misty, saying, "This is my house. I don't give a damn. I've been treated like shit for no reason. I've been nothing but good to everyone in this family. I'm not gonna tolerate nobody disrespecting me in my effing house." At this point, Misty is getting up and leaving, and it's just Chris's wife, Brittany, left on the couch. Amanda goes, "Make it make sense, Brittany. Make it make sense." And poor Brittany is just like, Brittany really very rarely talks on the show, so she really didn't have anything to say back to Amanda. And I don't know why she didn't just get up and leave when Chris did. So that is it for episodes 1 and 2 of season 6 of 1,000 Pound Sisters. The general consensus is a lot of this drama